Hi, everybody. I'm glad you could join me for today's Mat Chat. This is Master Brad from Valari's Martial Arts Center in Somerville, Mass. And today's Mat Chat, we're going to discuss effort. So you might have noticed by now the cycle that's been going on. I talked about it before. So there's only 5 of them. We discuss 5 agreements or rules of the school, and it is my belief that you can find pretty much any ways of improving yourself and your life within those 5. So as we're discussing effort, what I want to talk to you about today is where to put your effort. And when I say where do we want to put our effort, what I mean is in what aspects of our person, our personality, what parts of our lives are in deficit, where if we put a little bit more effort, we might be able to make some significant changes, or maybe not changes, but improvements or significant growth, some significant growth that would really make our lives better, that would improve drastically the quality of our lives. So if you think about that, where might you be able to put extra effort? Say, let's give some examples. If you maybe you think you could use more patience, you could put more effort into being patient, or maybe you could put more effort into getting things done. Less procrastinating, more action. You know, you could put more effort into taking action. Maybe you could put more effort into opening up more and sharing more of yourself. Maybe you could put more effort into holding back some. Maybe you share a little too much. Who knows? Who knows what it might be? Well, let me explain what I mean by that. So in some cases we have some things where we have deficits in our lives. Like for me, I would say one of my deficits anyway, is that I forget things sometimes. I think I have ADD. I've never actually been diagnosed, but I'm relatively sure that I have it. Back when I was a kid, they didn't diagnose that. I was just hyper. So for me, I could make more effort into writing things down, setting reminders so that I can actually complete the tasks I'm supposed to complete for myself and for other people that I've made commitments to. So that's effort. That's where I could put more effort. Now, sometimes the places where we might need to put more effort are things like patience, like I said. And those things are sometimes a little bit less obvious. There's not really a lot of physical actions you can take to gain patience. I mean, you could stop, you could breathe. Those things really only work in the moment. But if you want to actually improve your patience, if you want to actually improve your patience in the long run, then what you really need to do is take a look at it. So we're thinking of now, we've gotten past the figuring out where to put our efforts and now thinking about how. What are the actions we need to take? What efforts can we make to improve these parts of our lives? So for me, I've mentioned what I said is I could make more effort to write things down, to set reminders, things like that. And that's of course only one area of my life that I could use some more effort that has deficit. But patience is a good one. Patience is one that is abstract. It's not always easy to work on. Meditation, that's a physical aspect. It's a physical thing you can do that also requires some emotional and mental work. And it's definitely something that will improve your patience. Changing the way you perceive what's going on around you might be another way. And of course, that's simply not a action that you can just take and do. But when you start to feel impatient, think about, well, why am I impatient? Think about what is going on around me. And detaching from that is a way to improve patience. So what are some of the other things that I mentioned? taking more action. I mean, that seems like something that's simple. Just get up and do it. It's not always so simple for some people. Sometimes it takes a requirement. You need a motivation. Sometimes, again, that could be a change in how you think about things. And yes, Carrie, this is true. Meditation does, in fact, require patience. It can teach patience, it can grow patience, and it requires patience. The best thing you can do for meditation, really, is to do your best to let all the thoughts, either just let them fly and follow what you can, ignore them, or do your best to slow them down. I find my brain just flies all over the place when I try to meditate. So when I do meditate, I don't try, I do. And my thoughts just fly all over the place. And most of the time, I just let them go. I don't really follow. I don't bother to see where they're gonna go. Every now and then, if there's too many of them, I'll stop. And a good technique that was given to me for that is start to just follow the words, I am breathing in, I am breathing out, and just let those be the thoughts that you're using while meditating. That's a good technique somebody showed me. Every time you breathe in, say those words to yourself, either out loud or to yourself. Let me try to remember what are some of the other things that I mentioned about parts of your life, parts of our lives that might need improvement. Well, I think you understand the gist of what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to try to go through every little thing, every little piece of somebody's life that might need improvement, because I can only come from my experience, and what I have is going to be different from what you might need to work on. The key is to first identify where those deficits are, and then do what you can, and then really take some hard thought to figure out what you might be able to do to work on those deficits. And sometimes those will be physical actions that you can just do. Other times it's going to require you to maybe change the way you look at stuff. The changing of your perception is such an enormous thing to come to peace and to change and to make real changes in your life. And yes, forgiveness, absolutely. A lot of people think forgiveness is something that's done for the other person, and it's not. The other person doesn't feel it one way or the other. You know, if you're angry with somebody or some situation, when you forgive, that's for you. That's letting go of it, so that it no longer bogs you down. It no longer sucks your energy. So the way I think of forgiveness is, if I'm angry at something, I don't hold on to it. I may go back to it every now and then, but I don't hold on to it. I forgive pretty close to immediately. I'm not one to hold judges, and I find that that's kept my brain relatively healthy and my heart. I've done a lot of work on letting things go as well, and that can be a difficult thing. And sometimes it's just a matter of, close your eyes, bring it to your mind, and then just relax and let it go out with your breath. Professor Legere, the guy who teaches me, gave me a really good technique for that, which also is part of a meditation. One of the things he said to do was, as you're breathing in, when you've reached the top of that breath and you can't fit any more breath in your lungs, any more air in your lungs, think of the thing that you want to forgive or the thing you want to let go. Pause for a moment. That moment is the present moment. And then let it out as you exhale. And then the other half of this is, once you've exhaled everything and there's no more air left in your lungs, pause for a moment again and bring to mind something you would like to have in your life. Some kind of aspect of your life that you might want more of. Love, forgiveness, grace, joy, abundance. And breathe that in so that you're accepting that into your energy. That's a great point, Carrie. Thank you. And so I'm gonna start to wrap this up now. The point that I'm trying to make here is take a look at yourself. The more you look at yourself, the more you try to figure out where your deficits may be and put effort into those. Now, that doesn't mean put effort into everything else, but make a balance. You know, a little more effort where deficits may be, and maybe a little less where you know that you do well, and you'll find yourself improving your life. And then it's just a matter of really figuring out what actions to take. And some of those actions, as I mentioned, are going to be physical actions, like just get off your duff and do it. And some of those actions are going to be, you know, they may take a little bit more thought and a little bit more digging deeply into yourself to maybe change your perspective on stuff. So thank you for joining me. Carrie, thank you for your input. I appreciate it. And I hope to see you again next week. Just so you know, I usually do these on Wednesdays, right around this time, instead of Thursdays. Lately, for some reason, I've been getting busier on Wednesday, so maybe changing it to Thursday might be a better idea. But I'm going to keep it at Wednesday for now as best I can. So if you want to continue to tune into this, you can see me on Wednesday. Of course, it's a Facebook post, so it's always going to be there to see after the fact. Anyway, again, thank you for watching this far, and hopefully we will see you next week. That's been my Matt Chat of the Week. Thank you very much.